Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity Universe. Axie Infinity is a game universe filled with fascinating creatures, Axies, that players can collect as pets. Players aim to battle, breed, collect, raise, and build kingdoms for their Axies. The universe has a player-owned economy where players can truly own, buy, sell, and trade resources they earn in the game through skilled gameplay and contributions to the ecosystem. There are and will be many varied games experiences for Axies. Many of them will have players compete with each other using complex strategies and tactics to attain top rankings or be rewarded with coveted resources. Others will have them complete quests, defeat bosses, and unlock in-depth storylines. There are countless unique Axies that players can collect with varying body parts and appearances. Body parts will unlock abilities for Axies that vary across games. They will have completely different values, benefits, and skills from one game to another. Body parts also have their own unique card art for players to collect. Community and economy. All art assets and Axie genetic data can be easily accessed by third parties, allowing community developers to build their own tools and experiences in the Axie Infinity universe. While still in early access, Axie is ranked the #1 Ethereum game by daily, weekly, and monthly active users. Players have spent over 1 METH, 3B plus USD, so far to progress in the game. While Axie is a fun game, it's also taken on characteristics of a social network and earning platform due to the strong community and opportunity to truly own resources earned within the games. A key difference between Axie and a traditional game is that blockchain economic design unlocks the ability to have complex player-owned economies and reward players who are able to reach advanced levels of skill. Players are able to have fun and work towards ambitious goals while simultaneously earning potential resources that will have real monetary value due to an open economic system and demand from other players, play and earn. Currently, players can gain more resources to advance in the game by taking actions such as competing in battles to win leaderboard prizes as well as smooth love potions, SLP, breeding Axies to produce new ones with particular body part combinations, collecting and speculating on rare Axies such as Mystics and Origins. Mission: create an ecosystem of amazing Axie gaming experiences with community and player-owned economies as foundational pillars. Vision: a digital nation where people globally come together with their Axies to play, earn, and live. Welcome to our revolution. Disclaimer: please note that anything written in this white paper should not be taken as financial advice. Axie is a bleeding-edge game that's incorporating unfinished, risky, and highly experimental technology. Development priorities, roadmaps, and features are subject to radical overhaul based on research, traction, feedback from the community, and a myriad of other factors. Gameplay: Axie Infinity is structured as an open-ended digital pet universe. The Axie core team will build functionality for the game assets associated with the Axie brand in concurrence with the community. The Axie universe must be fun above all else. Only by having an immersive gaming experience can the ecosystem attract enough participants to accrue value to the network. Battling: in October 2018, the Axie core team released the first battle system built on top of the Axie game assets. The battle system was structured as an idle battle system with inspiration from games like Final Fantasy Tactics and Idle Heroes. The Axie team started development on the real-time card battle system and application in March 2019 and released an alpha in December 2019. As of October 2020, the application has amassed over 15,000 downloads with over 7,000 weekly active users. Much like Pokemon has gone through numerous iterations and types of battle systems, we also expect Axie to have many variations of battles over the years to come. Tournaments and Esports. Due to its skill-based, competitive nature, the Axie battle system is a good fit for competitive play and esports. We believe this is a critical aspect for future growth, and we have seen how engaged the players become when there is money on the line. Axie players have already earned thousands of dollars worth of cryptocurrency through numerous tournaments hosted by the core team or third-party sponsors. Breeding and $SLP. Like real-world pets, Axies can be bred to create new offspring. To avoid hyperinflation of Axies, there is a maximum amount of times an Axie can be bred before it is sterile. Breeding an Axie costs AXS and some smooth love potions depending on how many times the Axies have been bred. The AXS portion is variable and subject to adjustment based on a myriad of economic factors. Axies cannot be bred with their children and Axies cannot breed with their siblings. Axie Infinity does not sell $SLP to players directly. Genetics. Each Axie has 6 body parts as well as a body shape. For each part, an Axie possesses 3 genes. A dominant, D, recessive, R1, and minor recessive gene, R2. The dominant gene is what determines the body part that is physically present on the Axie. When breeding, each gene has a chance to be passed down to offspring. Dominant, D 37.5% chance to pass this gene to offspring. Recessive, R1 9.375% chance to pass this gene to offspring. Minor recessive, R2 3.125% chance to pass this gene to offspring. In order to breed, simply go to the page for one of your Axies by clicking on it through your inventory. Next, click Breed. Then select an Axie to pair it with. How long does it take for an Axie to become an adult? Axies take 5 days to reach maturity. After 5 days, you can morph your egg to an adult Axie and see the Axie's genes. Axie economy and long-term sustainability. Axie principles. Axie is a new type of game that rewards players for the time and effort they spend both playing the game and growing the ecosystem. Axie has a 100% player-owned, real money economy. Rather than selling game items or copies, the developers of the game focus on growing the player-to-player economy. Marketplace fees go into a community treasury whose usage will be guided by AXS holders. The developers monetize through their ownership of AXS tokens. Axies are created by players using in-game resources, SLP and AXS, and sold to new, other players. You can think of Axie as a nation with a real economy. The holders of the AXS token are the government that receives tax revenues. The inventors and builders of the game, Sky Mavis, hold 20% of all AXS tokens. Game resources and items are tokenized, meaning they can be sold to anyone, anywhere on open peer-to-peer markets. Axie population growth is a major factor within the Axie ecosystem. At any given moment, there exists some ideal inflation rate that allows us to grow to our maximum potential. Too slow and Axie prices are too high for everyday people to join, especially competitive Axies. Too fast and you get unhealthy inflation. AXS SLP tokens face similar economic forces that need to be managed. Economic sustainability. Long-term, the economy will be sustained by adding additional valuable utility to Axies. New and improved experiences such as land, minigames, and battle updates will be introduced over time. New experiences outside of battle will also add utility to Axies beyond their effectiveness in fleeting meters. Players will constantly have new goals to reach within the Axie universe. Ultimately, the demand for Axies will come from the intrinsic value they can provide to players in the form of competitive, social, and progression-based fun and achievements. Vertical, rather than purely horizontal progression. Currently, in order to progress, the main path to progress in battle is by expanding the size of one's collection. This dynamic is not optimal long-term. In the long run, there will be upgrades to Axies, land, and other assets that will require crafting ingredients. Axies themselves may be released to obtain these crafting ingredients or unlock upgrades. This creates a long-term supply sink to the Axie population. Axie progression is coming in the future, and it promises to create a much stronger bond between trainers and the Axies they choose to upgrade. Accessibility improvements that help unlock sustainable value. There are various points of friction currently for players to be able to dive into Axie Infinity to compete, have fun, and socialize with the community. Improving onboarding and allowing players to enjoy the game with free starter Axies, for example, would enable more players to fall in love with the Axie universe and want to engage in the economy long term. The more sustained demand for Axies and associated assets, the more healthy the long-term economy will be. In the beginning, to maximize growth, by design, the Axie economy will be dependent on new entrants. New players require Axies to get started, and it is important to ensure there are enough Axies being bred to make obtaining them accessible. There needs to be careful consideration for exactly when additional Axie sinks are introduced, as it could limit growth by causing prices to go too high. Over time, the outlined additions above will be rolled out to transition the economy towards growth and sustainability via demand from existing players and reduce dependence on new entrants coming into the ecosystem. Additional sources of capital. As the game becomes more established and scales, many additional opportunities will present themselves to introduce additional capital into the economy as a bonus on top of the core player-to-player economic activities. Advertising and sponsorships. Many projects are already eager to distribute rewards and tokens to the Axie economy. So far, MakerDAO, AAVE, and Kyber Network have done experimental token drops to Axie players. Axie is already the largest community of people who understand how to use blockchain technology in the world. There is immense value in advertising to a community like this. Physical digital merchandise. This is already a frequent request from dedicated players who would like more physical and/or digital merchandise to be able to express and show off their attachment to the game. Merchandise could range from exclusive official Axie art NFTs to t-shirts to plushes. Profits would go back into the game to be distributed to players. Offline events. The global Axie community has built extremely strong bonds with each other, and meeting other Lunations in real life is a valuable part of the Axie experience. Profits from major community events would go back into the game to be distributed to players. Although many Axie players have earned significant returns on their efforts and purchases, many have also played just for the fun and social community. They are excited to devise unique Axie battle strategies to climb the leaderboard or just hang out with new friends in the community. They value these experiences more than any potential earnings. These players make the economy stronger in the long run, and Sky Mavis strives to help more players gain this value in the long term. Land. Lunacia, the Axie homeland, is divided into tokenized plots of land which act as homes and bases of operation for their Axies. Plots can be upgraded over time using a variety of resources and crafting ingredients that can be found when playing the game. In addition, landowners might find AXS tokens on their land plots, or use the Axies that occupy the land plot to explore resource nodes on the map. When interacting with resources nodes, Axies can find AXS and potentially other resources. Resource gathering and crafting. Resources will spawn in nodes across Lunacia and be used to upgrade both land and Axies. Landholders will have first rights to any resources that spawn on their land. Real-time PvE battles. Monsters called Chimera are terrorizing Lunacia. Players will be able to take on Chimera in real-time battles either alone or in groups. Chimera will drop an assortment of resources, items, and blueprints used to upgrade land and individual Axies. Additional details about land will be released in time. The world. Lunacia consists of 90,601 plots of land. These land plots are represented as non-fungible tokens and can be freely traded by players. Land gameplay is still being actively developed and will be released in phases. Phase 1 of this experience will focus more upon simulation and land management, production, resource gathering, building, and trading. Phase 2 will build in additional management gameplay elements, such as skill trees, jobs, and social cooperative activities. Phase 3 will focus more on group strategic gameplay, defend, battle, conquer. Throughout the continuous evolution of Lunacia, features will be added, and Axies will have an ever-expanding set of experiences they will encounter. However, between each event and game release phase, major events that affect all of Lunacia will occur, giving players a sense of progression at a world scale. Lunacia SDK. The Lunacia SDK will initially be a map editor where players can use Axie Infinity art assets to create games and other experiences. Once a game has been created, it is saved as a non-fungible token and can be traded. These NFTs can be placed on land and players will be able to click on them to enter the game inside. Through this process, we aim to gradually decentralize the game creation aspect of the Axie universe. It will be impossible for one team to build out all the content needed for Lunacia, especially if we reach hundreds of millions of users. User-generated content is a scaling strategy for new experiences. Axie Infinity Shards, $AXS. Axie Infinity Shards, AXS, are an ERC-20 governance token for the Axie universe. AXS holders will be able to claim rewards if they stake their tokens, play the game, and participate in key governance votes. Players will also be able to earn $AXS when they play various games within the Axie Infinity universe and through user-generated content initiatives. Our goal with Axie Infinity Shards is to align the incentives between the players of the game and the developers in novel and exciting ways. The mechanisms described above have two main goals. To reward players for interacting with Axie Infinity while simultaneously incentivizing them to hold on to their tokens so they can claim additional rewards. To decentralize the ownership and governance of Axie Infinity. We want Axie to become the first game truly owned and operated by the community that plays it. This opens up limitless possibilities but must be approached carefully. In the past, projects have been abandoned and become stagnant using the term decentralization as a ruse. The shift to a true decentralized organization will occur gradually over time. In early 2021, the community treasury will go live. The community treasury will begin to receive revenues generated by Axie Infinity as well as a portion of staking rewards. This treasury will be governed by AXS stakers eventually, once the network has become sufficiently decentralized. The treasury receives inflows from 4.25% of all Axie NFT marketplace transactions. The AXS portion of the breeding fee. More streams will be added in the future from cosmetic sales, tournament entry fees, licensing fees, and more as new opportunities present themselves. Allocations and unlock schedule. AXS will be unlocked in a predetermined schedule which lasts for 65 months from the public sale. The initial circulating supply is set to 59,985,000 AXS, 22.22% of the total supply. The above chart illustrates the maximum possible issuance of AXS over the coming years, and the total supply will never exceed 270 million. The expected issuance of AXS is expected to be slightly lower than the unlock schedule. The play-to-earn and ecosystem fund allocations will not be issued until the game is ready for a growth phase even if the tokens are unlocked. Play and earn. The play and earn issuance represents 20% of the total AXS supply. The goal of the play and earn allocation is to attract a wide range of players to the Axie ecosystem in the hunt for token rewards and to give ownership and stake to the most active community members. We envision using the play and earn portion of the issuance to reward key behaviors within our ecosystem such as competing in the arena and winning matches. Winning tournaments. Interacting with and tending to your land plots. Using the Axie Infinity marketplace. Breeding Axies. Using future Axie products that haven't been announced yet. The play and earn allocation can be seen as a marketing budget for the Axie ecosystem. When certain game modes and products are ready to be promoted, its play-to-earn allocation could be increased. These allocations are something that could potentially be decided by governance over time. The Axie Infinity shards earned through the play and earn allocation will initially be open for trading immediately, but the Sky Mavis team will monitor the situation closely to decide if a lockup on rewards is needed. Why play and earn? A game needs players. By simply playing the game, community members are adding value to the network and should be rewarded. It's simple, but revolutionary. We're looking for missionaries to align incentives with as we change the gaming world forever. Axie is a living, breathing organism. It's still a toddler. Our revolution is young but spreading quickly. AXS has been designed as a growth hormone to take the toddler to maturity. Staking and staking rewards. Staking. Staking is a way for us to reward our community members for having a long-term mindset and locking up their AXS tokens. By staking your AXS, you'll be able to earn AXS rewards when you lock up your tokens through the staking dashboard. In the future, staking AXS will give you voting rights and a say over the use of the community treasury, which now holds over $1 billion in tokens. Incentivizing stakers to add value to Axie Infinity, the Axie score. In the future, we may upgrade our staking system to give better rewards to those that have measurably added value to the Axie ecosystem prior to claiming. There is still much research and experimentation to be done in this aspect of governance. The stakers who are not players or interested in participating in governance could be able to delegate their required work to other parties. This might lead to a future where guilds or corporations with massive amounts of AXS will need to look for talented players who can ensure a high enough Axie score to collect weekly yield. Ecosystem Fund. The Ecosystem Fund will initially be managed by the Sky Mavis core team, and its core purpose is to grow the Axie Infinity community. To preserve the integrity of the fund, the Sky Mavis team will prepare yearly statements that include a high-level overview of what the funds have been used for. A framework for spending is currently being drafted and is expected to be ready by late 2021. The The principles for the fund are as follow. Clear value added to the broader Axie Infinity community KPIs and goals that unlock funds, if applicable. As time passes, the ecosystem fund will be integrated into the DAO and stakers will be able to vote on who should receive funding. Sky Mavis. Sky Mavis is the team behind Axie Infinity and should remain incentivized to keep building after a successful token sale. By locking up the majority of the allocated supply, the team, community and investors have aligned incentives. Advisors. Hashed. Delphi Digital. Edward Lee. Blackwing Intelligence, Security Researcher. Sebastian Borgit. The Sandbox, COO and co-founder. Binance. Public sale. Private sale. Axie Infinity raised $864,000 in a private sale of AXS to strategic investors in the middle of 2020. These investors purchased AXS at a 20% discount. 20% of the private sale tokens will be unlocked during the AXS public sale. The rest of the private sale tokens will be unlocked quarterly over the next 2 years. Community. Axie Infinity is a new type of game, one where users and the core development team are both incentivized to work together to grow the network. In January 2022, the first Axie Builders program was released. Axie is widely recognized as the largest and strongest community in NFT gaming. Although the Axie community is relatively small when compared to conventional games, the amount of user-generated content and evangelism is very high. Third-party development. We believe the Axie universe can be a powerful medium for attracting developers to blockchain technology and as a potential launchpad for indie developers. To date, the Axie community has built a variety of tools and experiences such as tools for appraising Axies. Tools for enhanced market search. Small minigames community websites to aggregate useful info like Axie World, Axie Zone, Axie Infinity Tools, Axie Edge, Decentralized Organization. Through AXS, Axie Infinity will gradually evolve into a community-owned decentralized organization. This process occurs as AXS is distributed among players and stakers, with the Sky Mavis ownership becoming less concentrated over time. The Sky Mavis team will be able to vote with the locked play to earn and staking rewards allocations. This will prevent hostile actors from disrupting the ecosystem during the early and crucial phases of development. We estimate that Sky Mavis will no longer have the majority vote by October 2023. The road to becoming a decentralized organization. Version 0, October 2020 token generation event. No voting possible. Version 1 first half 2021 staking dashboard released. AXS holders can stake their tokens through the staking dashboard and participate in governance votes brought forward by the Sky Mavis team. These votes will revolve around which teams should receive funding from the ecosystem fund and how the community treasury should be distributed. Version 2, early 2022. More on-chain votes about smaller issues. Potentially changing the way votes are being counted from one token one vote to quadratic voting. Version 3, September 2023 Decentralized Organization. AXS holders determine which governance framework should be used and how much should be voted on. Some decisions will not be up for debate, such as token supply, which is ironclad in smart contracts. Potential things that can be voted on. Should Axie Infinity Limited continue to pay Sky Mavis to develop Axie Infinity? Should Axie Infinity use the marketplace created by Sky Mavis? How should the community treasury be used to reward AXS holders and the broader Axie community? Should the community treasury funds be attached to any yield farming or staking services such as Yearn.finance or Rari Capital? And more. Key metrics. Dashboards created for Axie Infinity from third-party websites. DAPRADAR. Nansen. Past revenue streams. The Axie Infinity ecosystem has generated over 6,000 ETH in revenue spread over Axie sales, land sales, breeding fees, and marketplace fees. Future revenue streams. Axie Infinity will be run using a game-as-a-service model where new features will be introduced over time. Axie can potentially earn revenue from selling Axies, land, cosmetics, and in-game consumables. Additionally, there will be fees when players want to level up their game characters, play in tournaments, and craft new assets. The community treasury will begin to accumulate fees once the staking dashboard is enabled. All the fees and revenue generated by Axie Infinity will be placed in the community treasury, which is governed by the AXS holders. For now, these are the primary fees in the Axie universe. A breeding fee, paid in AXS, for breeding Axies. A 4.25% Axie marketplace fee taken from successful sales of Axie NFT assets, Axies, land, and land items. Technology. Our engineering team is made up of top technical talent from Vietnam. Many of our team members met through competitive coding competitions and hackathons such as the International Collegiate Programming Contest, ICPC. Our team members are thought leaders in Vietnam's Rust community and have presented their findings to the broader community in various tech talks. Rust Vietnam. On YouTube. Decentralization and blockchain. We initially chose Ethereum back in 2018 due to the number of developers building on the platform and the ability to recruit initial community members. As time passed, it became clear that building a blockchain game solely on Ethereum would not be feasible from a scalability standpoint. We have learned that while our users care about blockchain technology, they are focused on the benefits it can bring, rather than decentralizing too many features. As long as we provide a tamper-evident distributed ledger that ensures scarcity and allows our players to own and trade their assets, it will be enough, for now. The mechanics of play-to-earn do not require a fully decentralized public blockchain. We believe that part of the ethos of Web3 is the idea of users being rewarded for the value that they bring to applications, and this is what we choose to focus on with Axie. Ronin Ethereum Sidechain. Mavis is currently creating Ronin, an Ethereum-linked sidechain made specifically for Axie Infinity. A Ronin was a samurai without a master in feudal Japan, and Ronin represents our desire to take the destiny of our product into our own hands. Security and consensus. To help secure Ronin, we have recruited an all-star cast of partners from the traditional gaming, crypto, and non-fungible token space to serve as validators of our network. The future of Ronin. Here's a message directly from Trung, CEO of Mavis. We are very excited about the possibilities Ronin brings. Though it's still in an early state, Ronin will continuously evolve over the years to serve the spirit and ethos of blockchain gaming. On the technical side, we are also looking into various solutions to further strengthen and scale Ronin. ZK Syncs, for example, is looking promising, but it could take time until it's production ready, particularly for NFTs and games. An extended AMA with Trung about Ronin can be found here. Roadmap and completed milestones. Roadmap. Please note that there are many things that could change the ordering of these priorities, including massive traction, breakthrough research, and feedback from the community. In addition, it should be understood that these are projections that we are making to the best of our ability but are subject to many potential disruptions. Axie is a bleeding-edge game that's incorporating unfinished, risky, and highly experimental technology. *Q1 2020, land and items migrated to Ronin, completed Q2 2021, Axies migrated to Ronin, completed Q2 2021, Axie, Origin Alpha, completed Q3 2021, $AXS staking, completed 2022, land gameplay community Alpha 2022, $AXS ecosystem begins governance play to earn mainstream release of Axie Infinity on iOS, Android 2022, land gameplay 2022, Lunacia SDK Alpha. The endgame is to create a single application which players can use to interact with the entire Axie Infinity universe. Social network marketplace progression of Axies, leveling, achievements, breeding game PvP with ladder and tournaments PvE, adventure mode land gameplay players expand their kingdom, harvest resources, attack Chime Raz and other players. Lunacia SDK, allowing developers and creators to make games using existing Axie Infinity assets and hosting them on land. Completed milestones. December 2017, concept and idea, development begins February 2018, Origin Axie pre-sale begins, 900 ETH raised March 2018. In-house Axie NFT marketplace released May 2018. Breeding game released October 2018. Idle battle game released January 2019. Land sale begins, 3200 ETH raised May 2019. In-house land, item NFT marketplace on ETH Layer 2. Loom Network, released December 2019. Unified land and Axie marketplace launched December 2019. Community Alpha, card battle game, released May 2020. Mavis Hub released May 2020. All land in Q1 sold out. 4600 plus ETH raised June 2020. Axie Infinity participates in Ubisoft Entrepreneurs Lab July 2020. Ronin Sidechain in testnet August 2020. Land gameplay internal alpha February 2021. Ronin mainnet launch April 2021. Axes migrated to Ronin May 2021. Fiat on-ramp added to Ronin September 2021. AXS staking launched November 2021. Cartana Decentralized Exchange launch team. Axie Infinity is being developed by Sky Mavis, which is a technology-focused game studio founded in early 2018. The team consists of 40 full-time employees and has its headquarters in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The founding team consists of the following individuals. Trung Ton Nguyen, CEO. Trung is involved in all key decisions from product to marketing and leads the company in Vietnam. At the age of 19, Trung co-founded and was CTO of Lozi.vn, an early Vietnamese e-commerce startup which has raised around 10M in funding and is still in operations as of now. He left Lozi once it became a stable business and the team's focus shifted from building to business operations. Trung also had stints at Trusting Social, 25M recent funding round led by Sequoia, and Anduin Transactions, a Joe Lonsdale company, before founding Axie Infinity. Trung represented Vietnam in the ACMICPC World Final 2014 held in Yekaterinburg, Russia. Alexander Leonard Larsson, COO. Alexander is responsible for all things business-related in Axie Infinity. He also serves on the board of directors in the Blockchain Game Alliance and holds the secretary position. He has worked in the Asia-Pacific region since early 2018 and has a vast network of blockchain industry and gaming connections, particularly in Vietnam, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Japan. Before Axie Infinity, he worked as a manager in the Norwegian state and spent his free time as a content creator and competitive gamer. He has been ranked as one of the top 200 players in Europe in .A2 and has represented the Norwegian national team in Warcraft 3 and .A. 2 Doan, art director and game designer. 2 runs the art team in Vietnam and designed the original Axes. He is responsible for the art direction and many game design concepts. He co-founded and formerly worked as the head of design at Lozi.vn. Andy Ho, CTO. Andy leads our engineering team and is responsible for our technical strategy and engineering operations. He previously worked as a software engineer at Anduin Transactions and interned at Google and PayPal. Andy attended the International Olympiad in Informatics, IOI, 2010 held in Waterloo, Canada. He graduated from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, and also represented Singapore in the ACMICPC World Final 2015 held in Marrakesh, Morocco. Jeffrey Zerlin, Growth Lead. Jeff aka Jihoz is responsible for growth and community development. He also spearheads token design and works closely with the product team. Jeff grew up collecting fossils and insects. He uses this experience when thinking about the collector side of NFTs. Jeff was a member of a top-ranked USA Horde guild in vanilla World of Warcraft. He spent much of his childhood, adolescence in raids. Academically, he studied military and economic history at Yale, where he wrote his thesis on the ideological origins of Alexander Hamilton's debt restructuring plan. Partners: Samsung, HTC, Binance, Kyber Network, Make It, Clayton, Unisoft. Thank you for watching.